Hey guys, can you hear me okay? Okay, excellent. Hey guys, today's gonna be a fairly short stream today. Yeah, I'll be pretty busy for most of this weekend, so I'll be actually going out of town next week, so I'm not gonna be able to actually stream too long. Hey Shay, good to see you. Good to see you again. Hey, I'm glad you're able to drop in. Yeah, today's gonna be a short stream, so I figured today I'll draw my OC Earl. And what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be using these acrylic markers I've been using as of lately. So let me get my markers. So first off, let me actually come and finish up my sketch here. And so basically, kind of what's been going on is that I think I mentioned that it's starting this upcoming Wednesday. I'll be going out of town, with family, so I'll be spending vacation with them. And we'll actually be doing a cruise trip, down in the Caribbean at least for a couple of days. And after that, then we'll be coming, coming back. I think probably around Tuesday. Really, we'll be back. Yeah, really, like Tuesday, we'll actually be back on that day. So I won't be streaming next week, so that's why I kind of want to make sure I kind of did this week, so that way, again, just kind of chat with you guys just for a little bit before I have to go. And so I figured what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna start with a very light sketch, just making sure I get, his overall features, and get his little hat. Plus, I've been meaning to kind of draw Earl again for a while now. I meant to do him early a few weeks ago, but I just hadn't got around to doing it. So I figured I have his little vest. I figured this time I'll have one here where he's actually gripping on some rope. Yeah, right now I'm just keeping my sketches fairly light because once I start to paint, a lot of it's going to be covered up. And so, let me see something. I forgot his brim of his hat. The brim of his hat's goes in a little more. Let me move that over just a bit. There we go. Alright, so I think we're going to move on to the next step. So get my markers, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So, basically I'm going to start off using some of these markers right here. So I think I'll use this kind of block in like the solid colors. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but I definitely mentioned up on BlueSky, so I've really gotten to using alcohol-based markers a lot more as of late. Excuse me, alcohol-based acrylic markers. And the weird thing is I've used them in the past before, because I've used them like Posca markers, Posca pens, and I found a few other ones through like little discount ones I found on Ross. But I never really got into them until probably the last couple of months when I've been doing what I've actually been using with other mediums, because like a lot of times what I've been doing is like I've been using them in combination with colored pencils, mutate with other markers. it's always been a mixture of like different mediums, but this time, like since I got these newer ones here, since they're more brushness, I get a lot more coverage. You know, I've been probably experimenting to see, you know, what I can actually do with them. And they're definitely opaque, but I like the fact even though they're opaque, they're not too opaque. I think I'll just use it like here to kind of get it as it was hugging mustache. And one of the things I kind of get used to, you know, when working with these, you know, with these acrylic markers, that I have to do a lot of my ink work actually after I lay down the color. I'm so used to doing like a lot of it beforehand. So in a way, but in a way it's always kind of like sculpting too. You know, basically I'm actually kind of like building up color before I'm laying down any of my line work. I know times I've drawn in the past, I given kind of more like an orange. I give him like an orange, like brownish orange on my neckerchief. I think this time here I'll give him a blue. I'll give him a green one. Cause usually that's what I normally use for my other cowboy. You'll see Gino. Or I'll probably do a little bit of color mixing. Cause Leo, you can still mix colors with these markers too. The only thing about it, you gotta be a lot quicker, cause obviously they dry a lot quicker. You know, compared to like say other markers. Hey, animator, hey, good to see you. I'm trying to tell you, Amazon Tubi. That's right. I heard that Animaniacs is finally on Tubi now. That and a lot of our Warner Bros. Properties. In fact, I meant to kind of like go check it out later on today. You know, to see kind of see how it is. Cause I remember it's weird how much it's jumped around. Because I remember for a while, it was on Hulu, and then it was gone. Because at first it was Hulu. Because first it had Animaniacs. They had the new series. Then they had just the new series because Animaniacs went off. Now they got on here. But that's great that they have. But it's great to have it on there now because there's something. Because much as I like, because I don't mind like kind of watching every now and then, like online. There's something kind of special, kind of like you get just kind of like watching on TV, because it almost kind of feels like you're kind of going back in time. Kind of go back in time. Almost really back on that day when you're actually kind of watching it back when it was new. Because a little history about me when it comes to that show. The funny thing is, I didn't really watch it all. I was gonna say I don't watch much. I say I watched it, but I don't think I really got into that much back when I was younger. It wasn't until I was much later in reruns I really appreciate it. Because I remember catching, on Cartoon Network, getting reruns back in the day. I remember catching on reruns on Cartoon Network. I remember catching it back on Nickelodeon. So I definitely knew of it. I definitely remember really liking it back when it was on. But I remember, I think it wasn't until I saw when I started rewatching online, but also I started rewatching it on the Hub channel when I really got into it and kind of appreciated it. Let me see, this silver one, let me see. Yeah, this silver one, that's not the one I want to use. Yeah, I thought it was, what was I going to mention? Yeah, but it's really good to see you guys. I know it's been a while. And also, as of lately, over the past like several weeks for this year, basically kind of my goal has been trying to do a lot more work with more of my original characters rather than doing just fan art. Now, granted, that doesn't mean I've stopped doing fan art entirely. Oh, that's right, because then on 20 days from now, it will be first day of spring. But at least here, it's finally starting to feel like it, because I know where I am, it's finally warmed back up and actually seems to be sticking now. Because I know it seemed like for a while, like it seemed like anytime we get some cold weather, like, it would come, it would stay like that for a good while, and it's not gonna be a while before we got our next like good wave of like warm weather. But right now, we seem to actually get some warm weather that seems to actually be staying around for a little while. One thing I do like is that I can kind of like layer it over, kind of get a nice, good feel of it. But what was the other thing I was getting ready to say? Oh yeah, but yeah, I remember. But yeah, when I saw like on the hub, that kind of really kind of made me appreciate it all over again. Because not only I got to like see it on TV for like the first time, because I think probably maybe 10 years. But also on top of that, like I even saw some episodes I had never really seen before since they went the whole show. Because most of the ones I remember seeing was like stuff from the first seasons. I remember on reruns they played those. They played those the most because actually we had more and more iconic episodes. But I think if I hadn't, but they didn't really play like the later ones all as much. I'm trying to think. Did they play the I'm trying to think. Did they ever air the IMAX movie Whack with Wish? Cause I'm trying to think. I don't know if they did. If they did, I don't think I recall seeing it at least on the hub. And come to think, like, fun fact, I think I heard there were plans to actually do like quite a good couple of movies with for the Animaniacs. But one thing about it is apparently when the movie first came out, when Whack Wish came out, they had underperformed, and since it didn't perform as well as they had wanted, they ended up not making any more with the cast. And plus, they figure like now would be a good time and ever to actually have it sent off on its own terms. At least until before, of course, the reboot came out. And fun fact with me, the reboot, like I know some people have very mixed opinions about it. First off, for me, I actually do kind of like it. Now, I do agree it's not perfect. I do agree that with that show that it's not as good as the original. But I think for what it is, I think I like it. I feel the reboot, it aims high. I think a lot of times, it hits its mark. I think the thing about it, I think on the first issue, on the first season, I feel like it tended to rely too much on having the Warners and Pinky to hold the show. And in concept, I can understand why, because they're the most popular characters of the original show. But part of kind of what made it stand out, that it was more of a variety show. You had a whole bunch of different characters to watch and have fun with. And it wasn't just those few characters. And I think as the show went on, they did finally kind of actually get into the feel of actually having other characters on there, and letting other characters have the limelight. They'll use it for rope. Yeah, and I think it was probably in the last season of the season, like the third season, the finale, where I think they really got, because I know there were certain episodes like the first two seasons, whereas where they can actually capture the feel of the old show. But I remember it was like third season where I think they for the whole season I feel like they nailed it. I think they really kind of got in the groove of how the whole show was supposed to be like, and they did it. But it was such a shame, when it ended when it did, because I'm like a lot of people were it was so abrupt. And it was funny because I remember a lot more people were more upset, and were upset once it happened. I remember I was kind of more stunned. I was like, wait, that's it? I don't know, because it was so abrupt. Let's see, 18. Let me see, is this brighter? Oh, I should just use that one. Let me see what I could use. No, normally his stuff, his color is white. His sleeves are usually white, but I think here I'll kind of give him like a cream color here. Just kind of add extra color to it. Yeah, if I remember, I think when the Hub, they would play, when they play MX, they did Tiny Toons as well. In fact, funny enough, I think for Tiny, that was probably the first time in years I'd seen Tiny Toons, because I remember they used to air fairly often on Cartoon Network and on Nickelodeon as well in reruns. But I remember they would air everyone. But when I saw on the Hub, that was the first time I had seen a lot of episodes from that show too. I think I'll change the color of this too as well. Because since I have a brown, this is more like a brown. This is more like a brownish gray here, so I think I'll use this instead. Since it has more of a natural color to it. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but what was the other thing I was getting ready to mention? What was it? What was it? What was I going to mention? It'll probably come back to me. And of course, like once I'm almost done with that, I'm going to show you guys some of the other stuff I've been doing as of lately. Now, some of the stuff you probably already saw what I did with these markers. If I speak of man, I need to get around to actually doing one of these things, with these markers. I've been using a few of these so far. So I've been using these acrylic markers. I found the small set at a Ross. It's like 12 colors. This is only like $5.99. And then like for $9, I found this other set which had like 30 colors. This was like I think this was like 11 something. Then I also found a couple other sets too. I have a larger set which was like $69.99. I found this at a Ross. This is like 48 colors. I hadn't really done full pictures yet, but I need to get around to do it because the colors in here are really nice. And then I also had gotten something that I figured if I ended up doing any larger ones, I had gotten this right here. I think I ordered these, and these were like 9. So these are like 12 colors, but they're like really big markers. So this is going to be used if I need to cover a lot of space. And these work pretty good too. The only thing about with these, because it's so much ink that's coming, and since are larger, they take just a little bit longer to dry compared to the others. Let me see something. See what other colors I can use here. Oh, I like that gold. I wasn't really intending on using gold in this one, but I like how that looks. Trying to see. I wonder if there's a place I can use it. to kind of get more of the his facial hair. Let me get the band on his, then get the brim of his hat. I'll use this orange around his little lip. Some of this on. I think some of this is for shadows here. I do have a green I was going to use. Oh, cool. Here we go. Oh, you know what? Okay, I actually like this green right here a little better. It's more like a yellow. It's a little darker. It has more like a yellowish tint to it. I think I'll use this kind of go around the outline of him. Yeah, I definitely am taking some of these with me on the trip. I'm probably gonna take the smallest. I'm probably gonna take just these right here and these, or I'll probably just take the 48 set. Because the other thing is, I do have like bring. I'm trying to get more to happen now of not bringing so many like art materials. Because the thing is, like, I'll bring art materials, think I'm gonna do a lot with them, like as I'm on the trip. Of course, since I'm too busy enjoying my vacation, I always don't really draw as much as I usually plan on doing it. Because like I remember, I think when I did that, I think I did that drawing of like Ralph and the Warners in 80s gear. Like that was like one of the few like finished drawings I did when I did my last like big vacation. When I did that cruise ship last year. And part of the reason I ended up kind of doing that because I got inspired from one of the activities I was actually doing on the ship. And of course, that's when I ended up going to that 80s theme party. Everyone was kind of listening to the 80s music, and it just kind of came up. And funny, I did that just with regular ballpoint pen and colored pencil. Whereas, you know, like, funny enough, I think when I brought a couple of sets, I brought their color pencils with me. I think I had brought, I even brought some oil pastels. I don't know why, because stuff like that, I had to kind of sit down and really work with them. Alright, I think that's looking pretty good. So, I think what I'm going to do next, let me get my pens. Give me just one moment. Alright, here we go. I'm back. me see. Oh, here we go. Perfect. So I think I'll use this Sharpie like gel pen like for the outlines. I don't like to use them that much because normally if I'm doing like my outlines with regular pens, I'll use regular pens. I like to use my microns, but I figure I'll try it with this one. Now it's kind of going on their outlines. And you can see like, it's very differently when he's trying to actually do like our ink work on top and you actually lay my colors down. Yeah, I figure, you know, as I'm drawing, I want to try to bring out this guy's like stern expression. The stern, like grizzly expression. I have 7 ballet Blu-rays and they're fun to watch. Oh, that's cool. I wonder how long are they though? So you probably have a great time watching them. In fact, Blu-rays, I still have a few Blu-rays. So I think I still have a few Blu-rays in a box somewhere here in my place. Though I hadn't really pulled any in a while. In fact, I need to pull them out and see if they still work. They should still work. Because I know Blu-rays and DVDs, they tend to last a good while. They're not like VCRs where you gotta make sure you store them properly, and of course you gotta make sure the tape is okay. I think the last Blu-ray thing that I had to the Blu-ray thing that I had played, I think I played with family too. I think it was Earth, Wind, Fire in Chicago live at the Greek Theater. So I think it was the first time they did one of their tours where they toured together. For everybody who don't know, Earth, Wind, Fire and Chicago, they're both like really big bands. They've been around for almost like 50 years now. But you know, for a while they've been touring themselves. But I remember, I think that Greek Theater, that was like one of the first ones they did where they toured together. And it was funny because I remember actually not too long ago, I think about 2 years ago, I actually saw both groups live actually together when they came to town. And what they did was, I think they alternated. I think the first group, Earth, Wind, Fire went on first. Then Chicago came on afterwards. And then, you know, after that, I think both bands came back on together. And that was a pretty great show because it was like, you know, like they did a mixture of like kind of a lot of their old classics. And me liking them in both groups, you know, even though like both always different sounds, because, you know, Earth, Wind, Fire, they've always been, you know, kind of like an R&B and funk. They've been mixed up. They're technically more like R&B and funk, but, you know, they've also sometimes incorporate, you know, like jazz, sometimes incorporate rock and pop in their stuff too. You know, whereas Chicago, they've always been more like a jazz rock group, and they went more, you know, like 80s pop. So they're pretty different as far as sound wise, but they got started like around the same time. Starting the same time. think I'll use this for shadows here. I think I'll use this for the shadows. Here, let me just gotta get the rope. Let me think. Let me see something for a brief moment. I should just see something for a brief moment. Alright, there we go. I had to check out something for a brief moment. I think I'm going to use some of that for shadows. Oh, I probably shouldn't have let. Yeah, there's another reason why I don't use the gel pen that often if I'm not careful, because these usually don't dry quick. So if my hands kind of like smear above it, it will cause a few accidents. But it's all fine. It's coming out okay. I like how it's turning out. I heard a copyright has been used on August 8th. That's right, it does. And I definitely will be in theaters to see it when it comes out. I know it's been a long time coming, but I'm glad, that the day's finally here. We get a chance to finally see it. So I'm definitely looking forward to actually seeing it in theaters. Like, Yeah, I'm just excited as I was to see the Bugs and Daffy and Porky movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up, in theaters. So I'm really stoked. I'm really looking forward to see it. I am hoping that they'll do a better job marketing it this time around. There'll be a better turnout. Because I remember when I went to see it on The Day the Earth Left in theaters. I saw it twice in theaters. I know the first time I saw it at a larger theater, and didn't really have a good turn. I think there was like maybe 5. I'm trying to think. I think there was like maybe 6, 7 other people that were in the audience with me went to go see it. I think there was 2 folks that came together. There was one that came by himself, and then there was a couple like other folks that were in. I think there was 2 or 3 other folks that sat further in the back. I think one they had brought a kid, and it was actually, at least that time I actually had a crowd. There was sort of some of the audience there. I remember. I think the second time I went to go see him about a few weeks later. Once they extended, how long it was going to be in theaters. Because even though technically it was a flop, because it underperformed the box office at the time. Like it did a lot better than expected, considering that it literally got little to no like marketing. But I remember that second time I went to go see. I guess go see it. Like there was hardly anybody at all in theaters. And Brendan Barty, hello. Hey, good to see you. I'm sorry I missed last week's stream. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get to be there for today's stream though. Hey, how you been? Yeah, I'm actually getting ready to finish up, with this stream in a little bit. Today, I'm gonna keep my stream fairly short because like as I mentioned earlier in the stream today, I'll actually be kind of going out of town like in a couple of days. So today I have to do a lot of packing because I know tomorrow, since tomorrow and Tuesday I have to work, so I don't have much time to really do it. So that's why I want to make sure I kind of do a quick stream so I get to kind of just chat with you guys for a little bit and actually kind of do a little something before I have to go. And so far, I think in my drawing I'm doing a little Earl, of Earl, like our rugged cowboy here. I think this is just about done. I think I'll actually go ahead and actually call it here. Actually, you know what? I think I know what else I'll do. Give me just one moment. Yeah, I'm definitely planning on actually checking out your stream later on today. Because I definitely, since I missed last week's, I want to make sure I catch this week's this time. And also, I've been seeing the new stuff you've been posting in the Discord chat. I had a chance to read all of them just yet. But hopefully later on the day, I'll get a chance to actually kind of finish looking at the rest of them. Okay, cool. So, alright, so I think that is it for this right here. So, just to get it all up to date, let me show you guys some of the other stuff I've been working on for most of the day. Trust me, I love it. Oh, I bet I will. What am I talking about? I know I will. Sorry, so that's one thing I did of Earl here. So, let me show you guys some of the other stuff I've been doing, as of lately. Since a lot of the more recent stuff, I think I showed in my notes. I don't think I had a chance to do a lot more on stream, so I'm doing a lot of newer stuff, in acrylic marker. So freight train fresh scenes. I'm going to use a take of the summer to synchronize that stadium as a boxer. And I like this idea. First use the boxer as a boxer inside to break the record. Oh, who's breaking the world records? Your world record plus, those are always fun. I love all your streams. You did a great job so far. Thank you. And basically what I've been doing is I've been doing a lot of stuff with these acrylic markers. Like, for example, here's the first major one I did where I did one of Stimpy. This one I did where I started out with alcohol-based markers, but then I went over it, acrylic, and I liked how well it turned out. So I started doing some other ones. So then I did this one here, of Squidward here. That one ended up turning out alright. And so I've really kind of got into really using a lot more because they're just so fun to actually work with. Of course, I did one here, of Mario. Yeah, well, actually, I take that back. I think some of you did see it, because I think some of you here for last week. For last, I did do that one of like Porky and Daffy from Porky's Pig Feet. Just some other sketching I've done so far. Hey, I'm glad you like it. Thank you. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I'm totally surprised though, considering that was my first time actually drawing him. This is one I did of Yi Sang. That was the mixture where I kind of did a mixture of like acrylic marker and ballpoint pen. The rose of Rose was a rose desire for his birthday, but Rose actually transpires. He's very upset. Oh yeah, that's the thing when it comes to like roasting. Like, you want to be able to dish out, you gotta be able to take it too. If you're gonna actually be willing to do that. I definitely know he'd be in a rude awakening when it comes to that. That's what I did with Luigi here. Oh, that plot sign sounds like it'd be perfect for him. And of course, I think the one of those recent one I did, was the one I finished the other night. I did one of Beetlejuice, and I based off more of the old cartoon from the 90s. He was I didn't really see the show that much like growing up, but I've heard people like raving about it. I think I've caught a couple of episodes, but I never got around to really actually watching like the whole show. It's definitely one of those I definitely need to consider getting a rewatch one of these days. I definitely need to do that. But yeah, that's pretty much all the ones I've done so far in this book. And actually, this book I'm taking with me for the trip. So guys, I appreciate y'all that drop in for today's stream. I know it's a lot shorter than usual, but I hope to see you guys around the same time on Saturday. Well, week after the next once I get back. And so until then, guys, I hope you having a great day. You know, Brendan Bardu plan to drop in for his stream later on this afternoon. And I hope to see you all next time.